So when I get to play such roles, I get very excited, and I'm like, I look forward to doing those scenes. And it's very it recharges me.
This way of getting into the head of each character gets me like a glove into all the characters, male and female.
For example, if it was me in that particular situation, I would have acted exactly like that. My reaction would have been exactly like what I did from the first shot to the last shot.
Hello everyone, welcome to peepingmoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahani and today I'm extremely pleased to be chatting with Amala Paul, Nandini Reddy and Jagapati Babu for their Netflix anthology called Meera. Hi everyone, welcome to Peeping Moon.
Hi.
Thank you
Hi.
so much, Rishna.
Thank you.
Most welcome. So firstly, tell me, Meera, I watched the film, of course, and it's this really strong story of a courageous woman who, of course, overcomes her hardships in a very strong manner. So as someone who has made it and as someone who has acted in it, what was your point of view on, what was the most interesting part according to you in the film?
The most interesting part was, uh, like, see, I've grown up, seeing this kind of like the movie's talking about a lot of things, right? Like, let's say mainly the power play in relationship, and the fact that that the husband has like our society, like even still women think that husband has all the right to disrespect them or be abusive towards them, when they want to vent out their anger. So I've grown up seeing that in my family and in my the families around me, and I've always been very rebellious about it. So to I always get very excited when I get to play roles that are very real and raw, and which are quite similar towards what we see in the society. So with Mira, I what I liked about it is that the whole setting of it, it's not like one lower, like we tend to think these things happens only in lower structure of society. So the whole setup and how every character was etched, and playing Mira, she's young and she's married to this a husband who is really older to her, and like there are so many emotions. She's a mother. She has that nurturing side towards her kids, protective side towards her kids, and at the same time she's helpless, like she is completely sincere in her marriage, but somewhere she doesn't get that respect and love that she deserves, and she's in a very helpless state. And how she used her strength, her potential as a writer, as how she uses her imagination to come out of it. So it's an entertaining watch, it's an engaging watch. At the same time, it's touching all the important sites that is happening in the society today. So yeah.
Okay. Jagapati, sir?
I would say extension of what Namla said, the identity is like we see the identity around in the society. And see, unfortunately or unfortunately, both the characters are good characters, but according to the situation, the emotions go out of hand because of the feelings and insecurity. And that's my character, which is insecure and possessive and all that. So because of that, the gray shade comes in. So, and it was interesting to get into the character and get out of the character. It was difficult to get out also. And this, like these kind of things, you have to get it so fast, and you have to feel everything so fast. It was a challenge, and it was exciting to perform.
Yeah, definitely. Nandini, ma'am?
See, the whole story of Meera has a very Machiavellian streak to it in that sense. And do the ends justify the means? And how far do you go to get what you want? And are you justified in doing it if somebody else's life is also at stake? See, these are all very morality based questions, very things which everybody has a very strong opinion of. Ultimately, it's a choice of one individual. So how far do you go, and what do you risk, and is it worth the risk, and how right are you and how wrong are you. So these were interesting kind of positions that the story traverses through, and I'm sure it's going to pull up a number of reactions in people. So I like it when stories kind of have this impact on people and make you think and make you react to these things. So apart from the fact that okay, it's a woman facing some kind of violence from the husband, this that, the extent to which Mira goes, brings out so many questions. So how grey is Mira, or how right is Mira, or how wrong is Mira? How much of a perpetrator is Vishwa, or how much of a victim is Vishwa? Who is manipulating whom, and to what extent, and what manipulation is right and what is wrong? So I think it poses very interesting questions, which is why it was a interesting story to tell.
Yes, agreed completely. And Amala, of course, playing a character that is also strong, having some shades of gray, as Nandini ma'am lightly mentioned in the film. Did it ever take an emotional toll on you?
It does always, because we are not just like I don't just switch on something in my body and the emotion comes out, right? It doesn't happen like that, unfortunately. So yeah, it does, but for me, it's not really a draining process, because I think that's, I am an artist, and uh, probably that's why I've chosen this, because I can emote, I can express. I think there is so much that's within me that it's a kind of vent out. It's a kind of emotional vent out, I can say. So when I get to play such roles, I get very excited, and I'm like, I look forward to doing those scenes, and it's very it recharges me. But yes, there is that emotional unbalance or psychological unbalance side that an actor need to balance. But that I think that's the part of being an actor. I'm kind of used to taking care of that part.
Okay. And Jagapati sir, of course, you play a person, a husband who gets a little violent and who's not very understanding and has his own emotional ups and downs in the film. So, what was your approach to play a character like that?
The way Nandini explained the scenes and everything, it came natural, I would say. I think I could feel it because I can identify that sort of a problem in people. And it was a natural thing that was happening there. So more than a yeah, I was more a victim. I felt I was a victim. And at the same time, I was losing the love of my life, both my wife and my children. So it was, and I could not control my anger, and I didn't try to because it was out of my control.
Mm.
So it went out of control, which was the best part of it. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. And Nandini ma'am, did it help, being a woman yourself, helming a story which portrays a woman who's going through hardships and how strongly she comes out? Did it help you sort of give full justice to the story?
I never thought of it in that sense, but I think because I mean, whatever you do experience as a woman. But yeah, of course, it would help. Uh, but I try to kind of get into the shoes of each of my characters and kind of understand where their head is at. Depending, even there may be a lot of stuff that I may not show, because I'm sure a lot of times in Mira's whole journey, the question would have come whether I'm doing the right thing or not. Because you can see that vulnerability when she's in the bedroom and Vishwa is breaking down, and Amla as an actor is actually feeling sorry for him, but Mira is also feeling sorry for him. That at that point when you see him breaking down, you're like, maybe I should just kind of give in to him. And Amla and me were discussing it at that point, I think, when we were shooting that scene, that there'll be a thought in her head that, Ayo, he's so vulnerable right now, maybe that's all he needs, and maybe I should just kind of adjust and let it go. But then she says, no, don't do that, Mira. You've gone this way too many times. He's like this now, but then when it goes back to the other cycle. So it's this constant yo-yoing that will happen between the characters. And when I was talking to Jagpati sir about Vishwa, and I said he believes he's doing all he can, and he genuinely is. He's working as hard as he can. He's loving his kids as much as he can, and maybe loving them a bit too much, and obsessing a little too much, and going the other way. But this way of getting into the head of each character gets me like a glove into all the characters, male and female. If it's a female character, maybe I will get some more nuances. Obviously, because if I know a lot of conversations would have come from women friends of mine or incidents that I have heard. And a very small example I'll give you, where this very young kid came and was very disturbed, and she had gone home and come back, and she said there was this incident that happened that shook me up. There were carpenters who were working in her house, and this kid was walking around in pair of shorts or whatever it is which she normally wears at home. And then the carpenters were looking at her made her very uncomfortable, and she told her dad and said, "Dad, the way that guy is looking at me is making me very uncomfortable." And the father said, "Men are like that. Why don't you just go inside the room and sit?" He kind of didn't address it at all. He kind of dismissed it, that that's the way of the world and you have to just deal with it. And this kid was so distraught and came back and told me, and she said, "My own father said that, and is that true? And is it that something that I have to live with and adjust?" And this kid was like 18. So a lot of things that are just brushed aside. And it's not that her father doesn't love her, he adores her and all that, but these are certain things and ways and things that people have just been used to being. And we always say boys are like this. What is boys are like this? It's what you have allowed them to be, and you're saying that it's okay or it's not okay, or what you're telling that young kid that no, you have to adjust to this. Or if you notice women walking on a footpath and men coming, it'll always be the women who walk to the side. They'll move to the side. So I noticed that as a kid, and I would make a conscious decision not to do that. I said, even if it makes me uncomfortable to the point of walking right up to the guy, I will walk straight. And it was a conscious choice that I had to do. Otherwise, women will automatically do this because you're used to guys who just kind of walk brashly. So that's what I'm saying. So there's so much conditioning that happens around us that we have to break away from it and, get there. I lost the thread of the question, but yeah, somewhere here we landed.
Yeah, no.
But I will throw in the answer.
Definitely, yeah. And of course, do you think the point that Meera is trying to make the film, that will come across as a conversation starter, not only for women, I think for our society, the society that we live in, and correctly, as you mentioned, the instances. So do you think it will be like a complete conversation starter?
I don't think Meera was intended as a conversation starter. I think it's just one woman trying to get her lung space. She's just trying to breathe. She's just trying to be. She just wants to be who she is without somebody squashing her and molding her and pushing her into one thing and trying to be something else. She wants to be alive. She wants to express herself. She wants to feel what she is feeling and be how she is and be a mother at the same time. Because people are putting Meera into these boxes that if you are a mother and you're a wife, these are the things that you have to do and these are the things you cannot do. And if you do that, you're a bad person, and if you do this, you're a good person. And I think those boxes are suffocating Meera. And she's just trying to be who she is as a human being. Right, wrong, beautiful, ugly, flawed, perfect, whatever she is. I think she's just trying to be who she is. And if somebody can take cue from that and say, I want to be who I am, I think, we'll be more than happy. Beyond that, I don't think Meera is intended to give any messages or anything else. It's a fictional story of one person, and it's inspired by many things, many emotions, many stories. And within that lies the complexity of us as women and men, and that we are all very complex creatures, and there's no one answer to one thing. So I think that's about it for Meera.
Definitely. Amala, would you like to add something to that?
I think, yeah, I mean, that was not the intent, to make this a part of a debate or a conversation, but it was just showing, these characters which are real in society, as real and as raw as possible. But yeah, we had to, dramatize a bit for the, because it's a visual medium and it has to be engaging and interesting. So, and it's a different genre altogether. So, uh, I think that was the idea, but I think at end of the day, we are keeping the facts and the truths and the emotions as real as possible in all characters, not just her. Like if you look at all the characters, it's all, like emotional, like what your own mind is doing to you. Like you
Hmm.
take Vishwa's character, it's just that he has lost that reality check, like he's enslaved by his jealousy or by his insecurity and by his own fears, that to a point that that he's enslaved to it, like he's unable to come out of it. And Mira, for the fact that she is done with putting up with so much, and because because soon she'll also lose control of it. And that's how I think a lot of relationship are these days. It's fake, and they just put up for the sake of kids or for the sake of society. So I think we're just showing it as real as possible, and that's what was the aim in the first place.
I thought it was actually more real or realistic because, for example, if it was me in that particular situation, I would have acted exactly like that. My reaction would have been exactly like what I did from the first shot to the last shot.
And of course, as Netflix first ever Telugu anthology, there is a certain kind of buzz and hype created around it. People are actually wanting and are waiting to see the film. Does this come across as something which is pressurizing or something that's reassuring?
Well, the bullet is out of the gun for us. It's already done. It's out there. So whether we like it or not, I mean, there's no point in taking the pressure, I think. I think we've all done the best we can, and it's out there, and we hope people like what we've seen. And well, if they don't, then we'll try harder next time. Other than that, I don't think there's much as possible. We've sincerely and honestly, we had a blast working. See, I always believe the process is all that you can control. That journey is what you can control, whom you're working with, the material you're working with, and how you've worked for those number of days. And I think on that count, 9 days, all of us had a wonderful journey, and this will always be such a beautiful memory for us. So that part is done. We've done the best we can. Now it's out there. So I don't think any of us are taking any. We're anxious in the sense of curious to know what the result is, but I don't think we're like really biting our nails off.
I think Netflix is taking all the pressure on our behalf.
Okay. And sir, how was it for you? Is it like reassuring that so many people are actually awaiting the release?
It is reassuring for sure. Especially the first time I'm doing for Netflix, and Netflix is something else that's completely at the top level. So it is, I would say the offer itself was reassuring. And yeah, and I wanted to, like, it's the first time I'm talking to national media and all that. So it's every which way it boosts my ego and my energy.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. All the very best for the
Maybe
film.
I think you're the only actor from your generation to be a part of this anthology. How interesting is that?
That's a point. Okay.
How cool is that?
That too with you. Okay.
Thank
The
you,
first one.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.